All right, so welcome to the Stoian Capital Mentorship interview. Today we're going to interview one of my students, which is Joshua. And what we're going to do is we're going to understand where he came from, where he currently is, and what I want him to be able to do is to use this interview as a means of understanding his future progress. So Joshua, you can go on and introduce yourself.
Okay. Hi guys, I'm Joshua. So it's been a year since I've been following Sto from the mentorship 1 and then now continuing to mentorship 2.0.
Okay.
It's basically I was trading on my own using my own methods,
Okay.
watching a lot of YouTube videos from other YouTubers, and I came across ICT about 9 months ago, and I was following other YouTubers and all. But I still, at the end of the day, I still could not um, be successful in my trading. It's like
Okay.
always a roller coaster. It's always up and down, and when you crash, it's quite difficult to pick myself back up. And I came across one
Okay.
of his YouTube videos, and that's where I got to know him, and that's where I'm now currently. I mean, being one of his mentees, so
Okay.
mentor mentee.
Okay. So that was one of the first questions that I've had for you was why did you get into trading when you first started? But I don't think you answered to that. So why did you get into trading in the first place when you just started?
Oh, okay. Basically, it was just a means for me to get out of the rat race. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah. So just to get out of a normal 9 to 5 job and basically to have, most importantly for me, to have freedom of time.
Good. And why did you choose trading? Why didn't you choose entrepreneurship or having a business or whatever?
Okay. Basically, I do not know the know-how to run a business. I do not have the know-how,
Okay.
and trading is just myself and the laptop and the markets. I don't have to manage other people, I don't have to manage too many minds and all.
Okay.
That will also take up much of my time because I was also into like doing some rental properties and those kind of things, which also takes up a lot of my time. And the the returns was I because I was always spending more money than me getting anything in return for those kind of businesses. So I think trading is just quite. I feel it's like less stressful, although it is stressful, but in terms of time is I can manage on my own because the market's like 24 hours.
Mm-hmm. And you can
Yeah,
choose the best hour in which you can trade, and it also correlates with your schedule, right?
correct.
Good. How did you see trading when you just begun, and how do you see it now?
When I just begun, it was more like a swing trade, like I was just on the daily chart. So, and then when I decided to move to like day trading, like intraday trading, then it, sorry, what was your question again?
How did you see trading when you just begun, and how do you see it now? How do you see it?
Oh, okay. So, after joining Sto's mentorship, then it's much more clearer, much
Okay.
more precise, like what I have to do, like follow the rule sets that he has given us. I mean, given
Okay.
to me. So there's no guessing work here. It's just like being a process oriented trader.
Good.
That's the process that I mean, the rule sets that he gives. That's all.
Good. So how were you when you just begun the Stoian Capital mentorship? Where were you in terms of your psychology? Where you were in terms of knowing the concepts and how to apply the concepts? Where were you before the Stoian Capital mentorship?
Okay, before the mentorship, I was running from one strategy to another strategy, following one YouTuber to another YouTuber.
Okay.
It's just the same cycle over and over again, and until I got fed up and I came across those mentorship. I mean, not. I mean, I decided to like make Sto my final mentor.
Okay,
Like
so
this
it
is it.
was
Yeah, like this is it. If this fails, I'm out of here. Yeah. So it's basically it's more like my own psychology to trying to fight my own self. Yeah.
mhm. So it was literally your final shot. This is it. If this does not work, I'm not going to do trading ever, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. And what has changed since the first moment in which we got together?
What has changed is the way Sto explains his trading methods. Of course, I mean trading there will be losses, so
Of course.
there's no 100% win every time. Although Sto is a really good mentor, a good trader.
Okay.
I mean, it's everyone will take a loss, so I cannot judge him based on maybe 2 3 losses. Uh,
Okay.
so that is part of the game, part of trading. So, um, but from his rule sets and all, I feel confident that he can that that he's the right person to guide me.
All right. And one more thing that I want to add upon this question that I've did is I'm not going to have any more mentorship students. So this interview is not meant for me getting more students into the mentorship because I'm done with that. I just wanted to clarify that because I want this interview to be more for you, especially not for selling purposes. I want this to be for you to look at this from a future reference and for you to understand the process. Where you are now, where you are at now versus where you will be in terms of the next months, years perhaps, and you're going to look back at this one and you're going to understand how you got from this point to the point in which you're going to look at this specific video. So my next question is going to be, what is your current perspective about trading? And what are you looking forward to in the next 4, 6, even 12 months?
Where currently I'm looking more towards because I'm looking like towards my retirement plan and also my current uh, intraday trades to replace my current job, my Uber
Okay,
driving. Yeah,
okay,
so I'm the plan that I have is to follow those signals and also more towards being disciplined to
okay,
backtest daily. I mean, and journal my trades on a daily basis. Daily meaning when it is time to take a trade.
okay.
Because you mentioned that on a normal weekends you don't trade on Mondays, so it's just so I will not trade on Mondays and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
also follow the rules of the CPI, NFP, FOMC. Yeah, so that is my decision that I've taken that to control. I mean to set aside 2 hours from January until December. Set aside 2 hours to trade during the two macro periods.
Okay.
Yeah, and to journal and backtest and do my to be disciplined and take this as a real business.
It's a real business,
It's,
exactly.
it's,
That's one little phrase that you can use to describe everything that I've tried to do with the mentorship. So I'm just going to quickly go away from the interview and I'm going to talk about a student that I still have, which was from November 23, I believe. And this is the exact approach we've taken. So this is all documented. Everything is like a business because the way in which I approach trading, it is more like a lifetime career rather than something that you get payouts really fast. The reason being is because you're not just trying to get money and then you're going to blow it off. You're trying to make an income, you're trying to make a lifestyle, you're trying to make a lifetime career out of this. So basically, the way in which I thought about the mentorship in itself and about trading is that you have to do everything right. Why wouldn't you? Why would you rush something that has a time span of a lifetime? Like, if you know that you're still going to be here in terms of the next 10 years to 20 years, let's just say like this, even if I'm 20, how would you treat it on a day-to-day basis? Would you treat it the same as if you were trying to get rich fast? because that's one thing that hurt me when I've tried to do this in the beginning, and it just hurt me, and I just lost time. But I see that as a lesson, because as I look back, I will never do that again. So there's no reason why you should treat this as something like, oh, I'm going to get money, boom, I'm just going to take a trade, easy. No, everything is based on a lifetime career. Everything is based on a lifetime span, really. And everything is long term, because if everything is long term, then everything on a daily basis is going to be according to that long term goal, which is exactly the approach that we have inside of trading too. Everything comes from the higher time frame. And if I have a higher time frame goal, how am I going to act on a day-to-day basis based on that goal? I'm just going to do every singular thing which will make it undeniable. So everything we do has to be undeniable. This is the approach we take with you. And I know that we have a very busy schedule, and I know that you're a very busy man. So I'm going to ask you this. How do you manage to find time for trading? How do you manage to find time for backtesting and studying the mentorship too, and having sessions? How do you manage everything?
I think basically it comes down to whether I want this or not. Whether I want to whether I want to have my freedom of time and money. Because if that's not important, then I can just continue with my Uber driving and
Yeah,
just live my life until 60, 70, then retire and just do what other normal people do. But now I'm young, I still have the energy. I would like to have the time and money as well to enjoy my, I mean, not to say enjoy, like to travel, to do things that are important to me. Because now
yeah,
my time is traded with my drive. And also, so I made a decision. I mean, I came up with my own schedule to do things, what I should eat, what I should how I should eat, how I should take care of my body, what time I
good.
should go to bed, how many hours I'm going to be on the road, how many hours I'm going to spend my time back testing, because I really want next year, I mean 2025, to be a life-changing year for me.
Good. And this is exactly what I talked about in terms of the POT video, which I've did for the 2.0. And let me just give you one reason why I've did that. Because in 2023, or even in 2023, when I began trading, what I would do is I would not have any schedule. I would not have any base upon what I should do on a day-to-day basis. And what I would do is I would say, oh, I'm just going to do it tomorrow. I'm just going to do it tomorrow. It does not matter. And I would just get emotional about it. Like I would just be happy to be on a session, or I would just be, oh, I don't want to do right now, so I'm not going to do it, which gave me, I did not trust myself. Like I did not trust myself that I would do that thing that I planned out to do, which eventually got transmuted into trading. So this has nothing to do about trading. This was all about to do with my operational and my state of operating. And then I said, no, regardless of how I feel, what I'm going to do every singular day is going to be this. I'm going to wake up at this hour. I'm going to do this minutes of backtesting, regardless of what happens. I'm going to then go into my, I don't know, gym or whatever I should do, regardless. And this is going to be my schedule for the next 10 years. And if I don't want to do this session, why? And then I will find out. Because the only reason, not only reason, but the only way in which you can grow something is to first have a base. Like if you're, think about this. If you have something, if you have this, and I want it to grow, I just have to add one more thing above it, right? But if I do not even have the basis, how can I improve something that is not even there? Like if I'm inconsistent with something, it is not even measurable, because today I just wake up and I think, oh, well, I do not feel like going to backtesting, so I might as well just, I don't know, eat something that is not right, because that's how feelings operate. And then you're going to feel bad. And then you're going to go into the session feeling bad, not understanding why you felt bad, not understanding why you did wrong. And now you're spending time thinking about the thing that you did wrong. And then everything is going to be a mess. But when you have a schedule and when you just do it, you're just going to do it unconsciously. Like, okay, wake up, back test. Then study, and then in the session you have all the brain power to think what the market is going to do. So this is what I did for my students. I've tried to eliminate the focus on other areas as much as possible so they can literally laser focus into the sessions. That's what I did for myself too. So I just wake up, I do my back testing, in which I use all or most of my brain power. Then I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to relieve everything in terms of mental strength or mental, how can I say it, mental effort that I've did. And then I'm going to come back into the session ready to give full energy towards my session. But if I'm all over the place and if I'm messy, then I'm not going to be able to do that, because I'm going to think about something else when I'm trading, and I'm going to think about trading when I'm doing something else, and that is going to worsen that situation, and that is going to worsen my trading, and everything is going to be a mess. So how can you respect the trading model if you cannot respect your schedule? That's the basis we take at the Stoian Capital Mentorship. And one of the last questions that I have, if not the last, is how much do you think psychology is in terms of trading?
It's massive. It's like it's, I would say it's important, just as important as the strategy is. I wouldn't say that strategy is not important, but it's just as equal importance. You have to have enough sleep. For me, the sleep is the main thing. Enough sleep. Like let's say you had a bad day at work, that someone hit your car and all, yeah, someone owes you money like for your rentals and all. It does affect trading. You become more anxious to trade. You'll just, oh, I see a inversion fair value gap randomly appearing on the chart and I want to take it. I'll go for a buy. When it's not even my macro, there's no liquidity run. There's no reason for me to get in. It's just that, okay, I want to gamble now. I want to make some quick buck, just so that I can feel happy for that moment. But that is just as equal as gambling.
Yeah.
That will definitely, I mean, the odds of you winning is almost like 1-2% only, and you definitely you're going to lose, and then it's going to create another sleepless night for you. You're going to carry on the stress over to the next day.
Yep, exactly. And that cycle is not going to end.
Yeah.
Like you're just going to go mess and just it's a downward spiral.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one more question for your trading process in itself. How do you feel about your trading now? What do you believe you have to do to get better in the current moment? What do you believe it is missing currently from your trading?
The thing that's missing is my back testing to trust my model.
Okay.
Like you mentioned, I mean, I've noted down that you've mentioned just follow my weekly bias, then go into the daily chart, seeing the high impact news drivers on the 15-minute chart, go and look for a session liquidity, then wait for a market structure shift. So all that is there, the rule sets. Is just that I need to, in the previous video, you mentioned that when this happens, the model happens is for me to take the trade. It's the action, it's not whether it's going to be a winning or a losing trade.
Correct.
It's action that I am doing to trust the model. Yep. So doing the back test, journaling why it was right, why it was wrong, if it failed. Yeah. And if it failed, okay, yes, the model works, just that for that session, that just that one day only, somehow the hedge fund managers and all, like somehow something that's beyond my control happened. So I have to just accept that loss.
I mean, yes, you can accept the loss, but one thing that I do and how I got better in terms of 2024 is I've understood that the only thing that's in my control is the action. And the only thing that's in my control is for me to go and backtest and see that the model repeats weekly. And if I took a trade, that's the goal, and I've achieved my goal. The
Yes.
result is going to tell me whether I did good or what I have to improve if I did wrong. So okay, I've taken this trade, and we talked about this, but I want to talk about this to the people that are looking at us. I did something wrong. okay, this is the result. I'm happy that I took my trade, and I'm happy that I followed the actions that I wanted to follow. That is the goal. But why did I lose? And I've talked about this in depth into one of my YouTube videos, which was most hated because I've titled it, How Do I Not Lose in Trading? But I genuinely do not lose, because if I go in and I lose, and then I understand why I've lost, the daily bias, or I did not see something, or I understood the market incorrectly, or I was very angry prior to the market opening and then I wanted to blast my anger into the market. I understood what I did wrong. I'm going to journal it and I'm never going to do it again. How is that a loss? Right? So that's one of the things that I do when I lose, when in reality it's not even losing. And the only thing I want to end this episode or this interview with one saying is that every singular adversity that you have is just a stepping stone towards your success. And this is not only a quote, this is literally it. Try to understand where you currently are, where you're coming from, and where you are trying to go. And if you understand the man that you have to become, and then you're going to understand the actions that you have to do in terms of being the man that you have to become. Well, the man that I want to become does not overtrade. Well, I overtrade, so how do I stop this? That's how you overcome everything. But then you have to be sober-minded about it, and you have to understand that this takes up 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years. Are you willing to spend these years without seeing any result? Yes or no? If you're not, then you're not going to be this man. That's what I want to end the episode with. Thank you very much, Joshua, for this interview. And I hope in the next interview you're going to be in the position in which you want to be, really.
Yeah. Thank you, Sto.